And this is Fox News. Okay, so we all know, obviously, Fox News dropped Tucker. Uh, it's not totally clear as to why. Interestingly, this isn't everything that I had planned to talk about, but I heard a rumor because I've heard some people talk about how they're nervous that Tucker's going to Twitter. They think that like Elon, because some conservatives are skeptical of Elon, rightfully so, with some of the tech that he's in, the AI, and the potential like implants and things I've heard he's into, whatever. Um, so some people are skeptical that Tucker's going to Twitter. The rumor I heard is that Fox had some kind of deal that was put out with Tucker that basically said he cannot go to, it was like a non-compete agreement saying that he can't go to other companies, other media places and do things with them. But Twitter was not specified, that he had unfettered access to his Twitter. So that's probably what happened, is he was probably saying, you know what, I'm going to go to Twitter because it doesn't violate my agreement and he can still keep his audience. But just earlier today, it was announced based on Drudge Report that this will be the new lineup for Fox News now that Tucker's gone. They've literally changed their entire primetime lineup, which is kind of a big deal for TV news, as I'm sure many of you guys know. But so Sean Hannity will now replace Tucker at 8 p.m. Eastern time. This is all Eastern time. Sean Hannity will now replace Tucker at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Jesse Waters will now be at 9 p.m. and Greg Gutfeld at 10 p.m. And there was a really interesting thing, too, is that noticeably Laura Ingraham and Trace Gallagher, who were previously held during primetime or around primetime, Laura Ingraham actually used to hold the spot right after Hannity, I believe, at 10. They were not mentioned anywhere in this. And so kind of my take on this is this isn't super big. Like, we don't know everything. This obviously hasn't started, but the way I see it is Fox is scrambling. They are taking well-known personalities like Hannity, Jesse Waters, Greg Gutfeld, and they're shoving them into this primetime slot to try to recover and I think really what it is accumulate, from the major dip in viewership suffered by cutting Tucker. That's really what it is. I mean, because you have Hannity, who's pretty well known, he's well established. You have Jesse Waters, who's on the 5, which right now I believe, if I'm remember correctly, the 5, which has both Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld on it, is the most watched show currently on Fox News. It has the highest ratings of any Fox show. Is the 5. But anyways, this likely won't work. This whole idea of just shoving everybody into it. Because Hannity is more establishment conservative. He's been in the game for a long time. He kind of adapted a little bit with Trump, but he was never really on the Trump train as it came to the idea of populism. It was more so in the fact that Trump had established himself in the country. He was establishment, not necessarily as much, not as much about the populist ideas that Tucker really adapted to. I think it can be funny. I have seen there's a video of Hannity with his jewel. I'll just find it right now. This was not something I had planned, but Hannity with his jewel, like his vape. Hannity. There it is.
Uh-oh. Now our villain of the day, Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell, because despite Swalwell's ties to suspected...
You guys see that? That was so good. Let's watch that one more time. I just think that's so funny. He's blowing out the smoke. Oh, crap.
Uh-oh. Now our villain of the day.
Uh-oh. Yeah, no. So I think Hannity can be funny, but I never really watch his full show. I've never really watched his full show. I watch clips. Because there's sometimes where he'll get a good guest on or he'll have a good take on something. I think he could be a funny guy. He kind of reminds me of just like an uncle, like, where it's just like, okay, Uncle Sean, like, I appreciate what you have to say. But I think you're just like a little bit off all the time. That's kind of how I see Sean. So obviously Jesse Waters is now taking Sean's old place at 9 p.m. So I see that that Jesse Waters is taking 9 p.m. I got to be honest, Jesse Waters, when it comes to him, I've never really liked the guy. He's the host of Waters World, and he's always said things like, it's my world and you're living in it. I always thought he seemed like a super self-centered individual. Just my personal take. You can like him if you do. What I used to really like when it came to Jesse Waters was he used to do really good man on the street stuff with Bill O'Reilly. and I really liked him back then, back when he was like an intern before he got like any kind of fame. He did Man on the Street stuff with Bill O'Reilly, and I loved that. I thought that was great. And then finally, Greg Gutfeld is taking over at 10 p.m. I actually really like Greg Gutfeld. I think he's really funny. I think I mean, I don't really necessarily listen to him all the time for his opinions, but I just think he's witty. I think he's quick, and I think he's really good and I think he's just really good at comedy and not taking politics too seriously. I think he's really funny. I like Greg Gutfeld. He's one of the only things I still watch on Fox. I loved Tucker. I was always daily with Tucker, but Greg Gutfeld, I watch him occasionally on Fox. I do like Greg Gutfeld. But overall, like I said, Fox will not be able to uh Fox will not be able to recoup what they had with Tucker. I believe this will be a permanent blow to the network. Period. Tucker was, I mean, by far he blew everyone out of the water in ratings. They won't be able to recoup.